Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In a bombshell twist that not even the most loyal Sister Wives fans saw coming, Robyn Brown's once silent daughter has finally broken her silence, and what she revealed has sent shockwaves through the entire Brown family, threatening to unravel the years of chaos, favoritism, and secrecy that have plagued the now fractured polygamous clan. But it's not just the emotional confession that has fans gasping, it's the cold, hard video proof from a concealed CC, closed-circuit, security camera that has flipped the entire narrative on its head and delivered a long-awaited victory to the most unlikely person in this whole saga, Meri Brown. Yes, Meri, the wife once publicly shamed, emotionally discarded, and manipulated into staying silent for the sake of family unity, is now emerging as the unexpected frontrunner in the Brown family's never-ending emotional war zone. It all started when Robyn's daughter, who for years remained the most private and sheltered of all the children, decided she could no longer stomach the lies being perpetuated behind the scenes. In a powerful and emotional sit-down interview uploaded anonymously online, but quickly verified by several sources close to the family, she tearfully recounted years of manipulated narratives, backstage whispers, and private family discussions that exposed a side of her mother Robyn the world had never seen. According to her, the tension between Robyn and Meri was never about personality differences. It was about control. Robyn allegedly went to great lengths to isolate Meri, feeding Cody twisted half-truths about Meri's intentions, her behavior, and her relationship with the kids. But the real shocker came when she revealed that for months, possibly years, Robyn and Cody had been secretly recording family conversations in their Flagstaff home using hidden CC cams, not just for safety but to use selectively against the other wives. What Robyn didn't expect, however, was for one of those very same cameras to catch her in the act, manipulating a teary Cody into rewriting the family trust in her favor, naming her and her children as sole inheritors of the Coyote Pass property and all future financial rights from the Sister Wives brand. And that's where everything exploded. Once Meri gained access to the footage, reportedly leaked by Robyn's daughter herself in a dramatic act of defiance, it was game over. The video, showing Robyn in full scheming mode, tearfully pretending to care about the other wives while quietly dismantling any financial or emotional legacy they had left, was shown during a family mediation. Christine and Janelle, already disillusioned, were left speechless, while Cody sat red-faced and silent, unable to spin Robyn's behavior into another one of his blame the other wives speeches. Meri, who had quietly fought for years to be seen and heard, finally had the smoking gun. And she didn't waste a moment. Armed with the footage and legal documentation that proved Robyn's manipulation of both Cody and the family estate, Meri's legal team moved swiftly, filing for fraud, contesting the trust changes, and demanding her rightful share of the Coyote Pass land, brand earnings, and back pay for her decades of contributions to the family and the show. And in a historic moment no one expected, the court sided with Meri. Robyn's carefully curated image as the peacemaker was obliterated overnight, her tears now seen as nothing more than tools of deception. Fans erupted across social media in support of Meri, hailing her as the ultimate survivor and demanding that TLC give her the spin-off she deserves. As for Robyn, her silence since the footage dropped has been deafening, and sources say even her children are now questioning the years of control they once accepted as love. But the real crown goes to Robyn's daughter, the whistleblower, the truth-teller, the brave soul who chose justice over loyalty and cracked the carefully constructed illusion that kept Meri in the shadows for so long. With the CC cam footage now public record, Meri's narrative is finally shifting. She's no longer the scorned wife clinging to hope. She's the woman who won it all, not just legally, but spiritually, publicly, and morally. The tides have turned, and with Robyn exposed, Cody stunned into silence, and Meri victorious at last, one thing is certain: the era of Meri's redemption has officially begun. But the aftermath didn't just stop with a courtroom victory and a destroyed reputation. It snowballed into the most dramatic reckoning the Brown family had ever faced, and the fallout may take years to fully settle. As news of the CC cam leak spread like wildfire, public opinion flipped almost instantly. Longtime fans who once bought into the narrative that Robyn was the victim of jealous sister wives began to reevaluate every tearful confessional, every soft-spoken manipulation, every moment she played the martyr. Suddenly, those scenes where Robyn sobbed about Meri being distant or angry weren't moments of empathy. They were strategic character assassinations caught red-handed. And now, the world saw the truth. Robyn had been playing chess while the others were trying to keep the family afloat. Cody, ever the egotistical patriarch who swore he loved all his wives equally, was left scrambling to protect his shattered image, but he was too late. Not only had he sided with Robyn at the expense of the other wives, he had allowed her to effectively restructure their family assets behind their backs, and now the receipts were out in the open, and worse, captured on camera. Meri, meanwhile, wasn't sitting idle. Instead of breaking down or fading into the background, she seized the opportunity and emerged like a phoenix from the ashes. She began working closely with her legal team to audit the entire Brown family financial history, including Coyote Pass, LLC paperwork, the royalties from sister wives, and even the long-forgotten income streams tied to Robyn's now-defunct jewelry business, My Sister Wife's Closet. And the deeper they dug, the more they found: suspicious transfers, backdoor bank accounts, and signs that Robyn had been funneling funds into trusts exclusively for her kids, while the other wives struggled to pay for their homes, children's tuition, and health bills. Armed with irrefutable evidence, Meri's next move wasn't just to claim her portion, but to demand restitution. At the same time, Robyn's daughter, who insiders now confirm is Aurora, was wrestling with her own emotional torment. In interviews following the leak, she admitted to feeling brainwashed, manipulated, and used in the family's larger scheme. "We were taught to believe Meri was cold and cruel," she said in a viral clip that has now surpassed 10 million views. "But the truth is, she was isolated on purpose. And I was a part of that without realizing it." Her confession opened the floodgates. Other older children, including some of Janelle and Christine's kids, began sharing their own suspicions and stories, confirming that Robyn often had closed-door meetings with Cody and deliberately kept them from family planning discussions. And then came the real kicker. Meri announced the formation of her own production company, which would be releasing a docu-series chronicling her personal journey through polygamy, emotional abuse, betrayal, and now, triumph. With the working title Unfiltered, The Truth Behind Sister Wives, it promises never-before-seen footage, court documents, and insider testimony that will blow the lid off everything TLC never aired. Fans erupted with anticipation, with hashtags like #MeriWins, #JusticeForMeri, and #BuyRobyn trending across social media. As for TLC, insiders say the network is in panic mode, unsure whether to continue with Season 20 as is or retool it completely to follow the new power dynamic, with Meri at the center and Robyn on the ropes. Behind the scenes, Robyn has reportedly spiraled. Sources close to the family say she's barely left the house, refuses to film, and feels betrayed by her own daughter. Her relationship with Cody is said to be strained. His once fierce defense of her has turned cold now that he realizes she may have cost him everything: his show, his family, and the little credibility he had left. Meanwhile, Meri's life is transforming before everyone's eyes. She's been spotted smiling more, traveling with friends, and even sparking dating rumors after being seen with a mystery man in Utah. Her social media has shifted from cryptic sadness to empowered mantras and glowing selfies. And perhaps the most poetic twist of all? Meri now holds majority ownership of several Coyote Pass lots after the court invalidated Robyn's underhanded amendments to the trust. What Robyn schemed to steal, Meri legally reclaimed. In a stunning statement issued through her attorney, Meri said, "For years, I was the silent one, the loyal one, the one who stayed behind and took the blows. But now, I'm the one who stood up, fought back, and won, not just for me, but for every woman who's ever been made to feel small in the name of keeping the peace." With Aurora's powerful truth-telling, the CC cam capturing the real Robyn, and Meri's unapologetic rise to power, the Brown family has finally reached a reckoning point. No more hiding behind religion. No more loyalty to toxic patterns. No more silencing women who dare to speak up. Meri won this war not through bitterness or vengeance, but with evidence, strength, and relentless determination. As she takes her victory lap, fans around the world are watching and cheering. Because in a story built on patriarchal control, it's the discarded woman who turned out to be the strongest of them all. And now, she's writing a new chapter on her terms. In a shocking and deeply personal revelation that has left the entire Sister Wives fandom buzzing, Janelle Brown has finally come forward with her unfiltered truth about Robyn and Kody Brown's so-called courtship, shattering years of carefully curated narratives that once painted their union as a spiritual love story rooted in destiny and divine inspiration. During a recent off-camera interview captured during what was supposed to be a neutral family counseling session but later leaked by an insider close to the Browns, Janelle opened up with rare emotional vulnerability, saying flatly, "Robyn and Kody's courtship wasn't what we were told. Not even close." According to Janelle, the story the public saw play out on TLC's polished, conflict-managing version of events was a sanitized fairy tale. A heavily edited highlight reel that ignored months of quiet manipulation, private deceit, and a growing emotional wedge that tore the Brown family apart long before Robyn ever donned a wedding dress. From the very beginning, Janelle claims something felt off. She recalled how Robyn was introduced to the family under suspiciously perfect circumstances. Suddenly appearing at church functions, Kody had only recently begun attending solo, conveniently always seated near him, and allegedly receiving spiritual impressions that mirrored Kody's own narrative about finding a soulmate. It felt scripted, Janelle confessed, her voice breaking. As if they were both already in on something the rest of us didn't understand yet. While the show told viewers their courtship began after a few innocent group dates and spiritual confirmation from Kody's older kids and wives, Janelle insists that the relationship began earlier, more intimately, and in secret. She describes moments when Kody would disappear for hours without explanation, returning with a glow and defensive energy, claiming he was on a spiritual walk or pondering. But Janelle says she later found texts between Kody and Robyn, long, emotionally charged messages with pet names, coded spiritual references, and flirty innuendos that predated the family's official approval process by months. And while the other wives were told that Robyn was cautious and respectful of the family's dynamic, Janelle now says she witnessed private interactions where Robyn would lean into Kody's space, touch his arm in ways that crossed a line, and even suggest private time to pray with him outside the presence of the others. It wasn't spiritual, it was emotional grooming, Janelle alleged, cleverly disguised as faith. But it didn't stop there. Once Robyn entered the family officially, Janelle recalls a shocking acceleration of favoritism. Kody began missing family dinners with her and the other wives, opting instead to drive hours to Robyn's home under the guise of supporting her single-parent struggles. Janelle tried to remain neutral, even supportive, but things got worse. "We were never given the chance to truly vet Robyn," she said. She was inserted, not integrated. Over time, Janelle noticed financial discrepancies. Robyn's kids getting the best clothes, her home receiving constant upgrades, and her schedule taking precedence in every major family decision. But even more disturbing were the private conversations Janelle overheard. Robyn quietly complaining to Kody about how hard it was to be accepted, strategically weaponizing her insecurities to gain Kody's emotional loyalty while simultaneously painting the other wives as cold, bitter, or resistant. "It was subtle at first," Janelle noted. "But over time, I realized Robyn was playing a very long game." The tipping point came, Janelle says, when Kody began citing God as his reason for prioritizing Robyn's feelings over the family's collective unity. "That was the biggest red flag," she said. Suddenly, God only spoke to Kody when Robyn was upset. The emotional manipulation began to spiral. Kody stopped asking for consensus in family meetings, often preferring to pray with Robyn before making big decisions, decisions that always seemed to benefit her side of the family. Janelle, known for her level-headedness and practicality, said she bit her tongue for years, hoping things would balance out. But they never did. The final betrayal, in Janelle's eyes, wasn't just Cody's favoritism, it was the quiet erasure of the spiritual foundation that once held the family together. Polygamy was supposed to be about shared sacrifice, spiritual growth, and equality, Janelle said. But Robyn and Cody turned it into a private marriage with 3 emotional exiles orbiting around them. She even claims that at one point, Christine confided in her that Robyn told her, flat out, that she believed Cody should only be intimate with the wife who gives him peace. That was code, Janelle believes, for me or no one. As Cody and Robyn's union deepened, the other relationships withered. Meri became isolated, Christine grew increasingly heartbroken, and Janelle, once the quiet backbone of the family, was pushed to the sidelines. I was expected to stay silent, to support the narrative, she said. But it wasn't love, it was a takeover. Even more damning, Janelle hinted that producers were aware of much more than they aired. They knew, she said. They saw how Robyn manipulated conversations, how Cody would parrot her complaints, how the rest of us were slowly being pushed out. When asked why she stayed so long, Janelle answered honestly, because I believed in the family. I believed in the covenant. But what I didn't realize was that Robyn didn't marry into our family, Cody married into hers. And now, after walking away from the marriage, Janelle says she no longer feels guilt for speaking her truth. People need to know that the courtship wasn't pure. It wasn't slow. It wasn't spiritual. It was strategic, emotional, and it broke something sacred that we had spent years building. She now hopes that by finally lifting the veil, others can understand how manipulation can exist even in the guise of religion, and how women like her, Christine, and Meri were not weak, but silenced, outnumbered, and emotionally gaslit in the name of divine authority. As the Sister Wives series enters what may be its final seasons, Janelle's truth-telling has reignited the conversation about accountability, transparency, and the long-term emotional damage that Cody and Robyn's secretive beginnings inflicted on the family. And in sharing her story, Janelle isn't just rewriting the past, she's reclaiming her place in it, one truth at a time.